You probably remember him as the Mad Dog, leading Stanford to a Final Four, or perhaps you know him for his phenomenal dancing skills after winning an NBA championship with the Lakers.
Yeah, but now we know him as coach. Mark Madsen is here to lead the Utah Valley Wolverines in a new and exciting direction. Basically went straight from your playing days right into coaching.
Yes.
Was there ever a doubt, or did you always know, or was there a moment that clicked one day that you thought, you know, I'm gonna be a coach someday?
Yeah. No, I think for me, I was reading John Wooden's book, They Call Me Coach, and just hearing the way he discussed coaching in his book, hearing the experiences that he had, it made me want to pursue that as a job, to help players become better, to help players achieve their potential. And so to be able to come here as the head coach, it was just such a great opportunity, and I could not be more excited to be here.
Yeah, what led you to the Utah Valley job? You know, what about it was most appealing to you and made you feel like, you know, this is where I want to get my first head coaching game?
I look at the tradition of Utah Valley, starting with Dick Hunsaker, going to Coach Mark Pope, the players that have come through here. If you look, even here in this practice court where we are now, you look on the walls, you got Ronnie Price, you have Travis Hansen, you have Ryan Toulson, you have some tremendous players and people that have come through UVU.
Yeah, and it's almost like not only is it, you know, a new start for you, but almost like a new start for the program. Obviously, when Coach Pope left, some of the good players that were here left as well. So, I mean, talk about the challenges of having to kind of, I guess, restructure a roster and a team.
Well, I think it's understandable. Anytime there's a coaching change, there's going to be transfers. There's going to be players going to other schools. We experienced that here. I think we had 7 or 8 guys that were on the roster last year that have transferred other places. And that's okay. If anything, I think it should be that way. Players should have the freedom to be able to transfer and move. Consequently, we've gone out and signed a lot of new players. I was really happy to be able to retain the 5 returners coming back from last year's team, great players. But I'm also excited to have brought in 6 or 7 new players. And we're going to kind of mesh everyone together, and we're going to have a great team.
What is the world of this transfer portal like now? Obviously, you're able to reach in and find some experienced players at the Division I level to come over and help you out, like Emmanuel and some of the other guys that you brought over as well. That's obviously got to be a little bit of a help, right?
Well, I think the transfer portal is good for everyone. But number one, it's good for the student athletes themselves, because if they've invested heavily into a program, into a school, and if they've paid their dues, they should have the chance to explore a new opportunity, get a graduate degree somewhere, and have a change of scenery. That they've worked hard, they deserve it, and they've put the time in.
Is there, just out of curiosity, with all the experience you've had, you know, at Stanford as a player, in the NBA as a player, coaching in the NBA, the year you coached at Stanford, what do you draw upon the most? Or is it little bits of all of that, all those experiences?
I think for me, you draw on a lot of different things. I draw on the experiences and the style of every coach I've ever played for. And then I draw on my teammates, my past teammates in the college level, at the pro level, because you just learn so much playing this game. And then I've coached the game for close to a decade now. And for example, in the NBA, we might prepare for 100 games in a year. And so you're going through intensive prep 100 times. All types of different offensive systems. In the NBA, think about the Warriors system versus the Portland Trailblazers versus San Antonio. All 3 systems are vastly different. And so you learn how to dissect and dive deep into X's and O's.
That's great. Well, we talked a little bit about some of the guys that have come over. I believe 7 players, I think, right? Is that about right that you've added? 6 or 7?
Yeah, 6 or 7, yeah.
But first of all, I want to ask you a little bit about Trey Woodbury. Yep. He was a top 100 recruit, I believe, out of high school. He had that a little bit of experience there at UNLV. What about him just excites you a lot to have him over here?
Trey Woodbury is a phenomenal shooter, but he's not just a shooter. Trey Woodbury can put the ball down. He can finish at the rim. He's an athlete. I mean, Trey Woodbury will get up and dunk on people. And then his decision-making is something that differentiates him. There's plenty of shooters out there that are just a one-trick pony. Trey can not only shoot, he can play make, he can put the ball down, he can handle in the pick and roll. And he's a great young man. He's a great young man, so really excited to have him here.
How about Emmanuel? You know, obviously a guy who's had 3 years experience at Akron. He comes over here. He basically, the way he told us, he's got 1 year left. He's going to put it all on the line. I mean, what excites you about him?
Well, a lot of things excite me about Emmanuel. Number one, his leadership. Number two, he can change a game just by walking onto the court. You know, if you study his statistics, Emmanuel's had games where he's blocked 6 shots. Yeah. When you block a shot, it does more than just erasing that field goal attempt. There's a psychological impact against the other team, and there's a momentum factor where your whole team can get momentum. Hey, Emmanuel just got a block. Let's get out and run the break. Let's get out and get an open 3, or let's dish it back to E-Man in for a dunk.
That's awesome. And I mean, when you think of toughness, is that one word that could describe a guy? I mean, obviously he went through a lot with his heart surgery and stuff like that in his past. I mean, to come back.
Yeah, the word toughness is one of many words that could describe Emmanuel. The words that come to my mind are toughness, character, skilled, explosive, and more than anything else, Emmanuel's not only a great player, but he's a great young man.
Well, so we've talked about those guys. Who else, I mean, should be on our radar for this upcoming season?
I mean, I think every single transfer we brought in has huge potential. You look at Brandon Morley coming in from the University of Utah. Here's a 7-footer who can step out and shoot the 3. How many 7-footers out there are there in NCAA Division I that can stretch the court out all the way? I think Brandon's a great defensive rebounder. You look at Zach Mogbo, who's not here. He's a rugged, physical, 6'7" physical specimen who also thinks the game. I mean, he's got a really, he's smart out there, he's tough, and he's rugged. From the wing standpoint, you've got J.J. Overton. He can play 3 positions. J.J. can play the point guard. He can play the 2. He can play the 3. He's a great decision maker coming off the pick and roll. He can see over the defenses. He can finish at the rim with explosiveness. You've got Fardas, who will be sitting out this year, but Fardas is about 6'11", probably 250, 260, who's at Mercer. Fardas averaged 5 rebounds in 14 minutes a game. You do the math on that.
Right.
Fardas, as he continues to work on his game, he's going to be able to control the paint from a rebounding standpoint. And guys will bounce off of him. And then to have Jake Hesse come in, Jake Hesse committed to UVU last October, I believe. And Jake is a very athletic 2-3 man. He'll hit the 3, he'll attack the rim, and he's one also who will go up there and try to dunk on you.
So what would you say, I'm sure there's a few challenges, but what would you say are some of the biggest challenges of basically trying to kickstart a program in your first year?
Well, when we had so many players leave the program, and again, that's to be expected. Oftentimes when there's a coaching change, sometimes the entire roster gets overhauled. And so that was to be expected. You know, I recruited all the guys that stayed. Every player in the program I wanted to stay. We were able to keep 5. Most rosters have 15 guys, so we were able to keep 5, and I'm so grateful that those guys stayed. But now we got to go out. We filled 6 or 7 spots. We still have a few more spots we need to fill. And so it's a big challenge to have that much turnover and have all the guys come together. But I'll tell you this, our players are coming together. They're working hard every day in this gym as a team collectively and on their own. Sometimes I've been in here late at night, early in the morning. Guys are in here working on their game, perfecting their craft.
What would you say are the expectations then for year 1 of Mark Madsen era at Utah Valley? What would you say that the goals, expectations are?
Well, let me say this. We want to play one of the most competitive schedules in the nation. And I think when we announce it shortly, I think yourself and the greater Utah area is going to be very, very pleased with the schedule that we release. And I'm also speaking to future recruits. I want the players at Utah Valley to play against the best competition nationwide. And that will be an announcement that will come out shortly in the next probably 3 to 6 weeks. And so we want this to be a school where we're playing the best, we're developing the best, and we're competing for the best.
Well, they both had All-American legs at the U, but how do Andy Phillips and Tom Hackett compare on the golf course? That's coming up next on the Hallowed Grounds.